When you're balancing kids and bookkeeping, having a simple routine is key. In this video, I'll show you how to set one up so that your work gets done and life stays manageable. Okay, number one, have a weekly checklist. On it, you're going to want to have things like checking the bank feeds for new transactions, making sure that those transactions actually get categorized. You may also need to record any journal entries for things like payroll. You're just going to want to go into QuickBooks and make sure that anything new that has come in this week is getting handled. And so that might be a little bit client specific. But you'll want to make sure that there's a checklist item for each thing you need to do. And then also to have a checklist item for actually sending questions to the client. So when things come in the week and you're like, I don't know what that is, I Googled it, I have no idea what that's for, you're gonna want a routine for each week to go, hey, I've done everything on my checklist, and the last thing is gonna be to send questions to the client. All right, second, have a monthly checklist. So after you've done all the work for that week, there's also going to be things that you do only once a month. Things like reconciling accounts, things like recording any monthly adjusting entries that only happen once a month. Maybe things need to be split into separate accounts, or maybe there's depreciation. There may be monthly entries that you need to make. You're also going to want to review the financial reports after you've reconciled and make sure that everything is correctly categorized. Look, no one's perfect. We all make mistakes at times. So you want to have a process to double check and make sure that you can correct any day-to-day errors before anything goes out to the client. It's also really helpful to look at things like month over month, run like a profit and loss by month. And that can help you spot when something is missing, something is duplicated, if there's something that just doesn't look quite right. You're also going to want to have one more time where you ask the client questions if stuff comes up that you're still not sure about towards the end of the month. And then here's one that's a little bit controversial. I know a lot of bookkeepers are going to disagree with this, but I'm going to tell you the truth from what I have heard from clients. Send their financial reports. Even if you ask them questions and they haven't got back to you yet, even if you have to ask for some statements and they haven't sent them to you yet, send the financial reports anyway, because clients don't realize what the holdup is. Even if you've asked for stuff, even if they're like, yeah, I'll get to that, they don't know that you're like waiting on it and you kind of need it. So send the financial reports anyway, even if you're missing something. Just send it with a note that says, hey, here's your reports for last month. It's going to look a little bit weird here. If you could just send me that statement, then I'll make sure everything gets categorized. That sometimes just clues clients in, oh, that's why you were asking for that thing, and they'll actually get it to you. So the last thing on your list for a monthly checklist should always be to send the client whatever you've promised to send them, financial reports, an update, whatever you've agreed on, send it anyway, even if you're waiting on stuff. Okay, so you've got your weekly checklist, you've got your monthly checklist, but where do you actually put these checklists? You're going to want to use a tool to help you keep track of them, and ideally something that helps them recur every month. There are a lot of tools out there, but when I was starting out, I used really simple tools, something like Todoist or Trello, that were free, that I could customize to meet my needs. I could create a very standard template of like, for any client, you're gonna do all these things, and then I could slot in all the weird stuff, all the custom stuff for that particular client to make sure that anything that they asked me for, or anything that they were like, hey, every time you see this, make sure it goes here. I could either create rules or I could create tasks to make sure that that client's work was done in that kind of custom way. Okay, so you've got your checklists, you've got some kind of a tool to keep track of it, but what about actually working around having a family? So, here are some tips for family life. You are going to want to set specific times to work and put them on your calendar. Now, sometimes life happens, you might need to move those things around, but if you have the time blocked, You know how much work you need to do and how much time it takes. So if you move it around, you can still make sure that your week doesn't turn into a total dumpster fire. You also are going to want to communicate turnaround times to clients really clearly. If they know what to expect, that's going to prevent a lot of problems. If you're like, hey, I will get back to you by the next day or within 2 days, whatever the case is, just be clear and then clients will know what to expect. And also, don't overcommit, especially in the beginning. It's going to be very tempting to try to go above and beyond to say, yeah, I'll get that to you right now, as soon as possible. You want clients to be happy, but be kind to yourself. Set expectations that you can actually meet or exceed because most clients are pretty reasonable. They just want to know that it's handled. And if it's an emergency, they will tell you that it's an emergency, although most things are not emergencies. So just be kind to yourself as you're setting those expectations so that you know that you can meet them. A simple routine helps you stay on track and helps you build trust with clients because you're able to do what you said that you would do. So like and subscribe if this was helpful, and if you would like to build even more confidence with the why behind what you're doing, check out our Accounting Fundamentals course, which is linked in the description below.